Welcome to Sex Positive Gaming. I'm Annie, and today I want to talk about Come Home. This slice of life visual novel is available for PC, Mac, and SteamOS for free on Steam, with an Android version available for free on their Patreon. Before I go too deep into this video, I did want to bring up a few things. I'm going to talk about consent in this review, and nothing seems to agitate more people than when I do. YouTube, Steam, and Patreon all prohibit sexual content based on the perception or supposition of a character's ability to consent based on age, relation, violence, or overall context. You can murder any number of people while playing Call of Duty, but you better ask for ID before going on a date in that visual novel. What does that have to do with Come Home? The developer, RJ Rhodes, has put an amazing amount of effort to show that all participants are absolutely 100% consenting to everything that happens in this game. Are all of these characters in a position to give consent? You see, that's the problem with fiction. I covered in previous videos how common non-consensual fantasies are, as well as how healthy and, in some cases, how therapeutic they can be. Consider video games like this to be an elaborate roleplay. You're not really committing genocide in Call of Duty. You are safely channeling aggression. In the same way, video games like these are not truly non-consensual. The developer consents to making it, and you as the player consent to playing it. So was all of this effort to show that everyone was 100% consenting go to waste? Well, it would have if this game was some type of Red Riding Hood werewolf Twilight fanfiction. However, this is a slice of life harem game. This effort may not have changed some of the characters' ability to consent, but it did make the relationships much deeper and more meaningful than any huge harem game that I've ever played before. It's kind of like when we started to wipe down all of the services at the beginning of 2020. It didn't do much to stop the reason we were doing it for, but it did make it so almost nobody got the flu over the past year and a half. It may not have been the developer's primary intent, but we as the players have been offered a level of romantic intimacy that is usually reserved for games focusing on one relationship. Graphically, this game is great. The renders are decent and there are animations, but they are silent. The soundtrack is a good mix of rock, electro, and chill music. There seems to have been a lot of effort to make various characters look more like real people. Facial features and body shapes are much less like the cookie-cutter Daz Barbie dolls and look much more believable. Flavor-wise, this game has an incredible array of choices. This is a male protagonist game, but as far as I can tell, every interaction is optional. This includes femdom, gay, lesbian, group, exhibitionism, voyeurism, people with disabilities, BDSM, trans, power exchange, and a lot of heterosexual encounters. Let's be clear, the choices are primarily heterosexual harem themed. I mean, you could only play this title as a male homosexual experience, but it would be a much shorter game. As with any game in development, we should expect additional flavors and options to potentially emerge. There is a lot to like about Come Home. For me, it's the level of agency that you're provided. You can pursue all or none of the 20 romanceable characters. The game gives you the option to turn off all of the characters' romantic encounters. They will still interact in scenes that drive other character storylines and the main plot, but that's it. The in-game hint system is great, and each character has their own page that tracks all of their scenes as well as information you may uncover about them, like their favorite food or their biggest regret in life. I mean, those are totally equivalent pieces of information. So all of these options and choices do currently have a negative consequence. The game's main plot feels like Swiss cheese. If you pursue every character, the main story feels kind of like a side mission. I urgently have to help find my father, but let me go on 60 or so dates first to raise my affection of my growing harem. If you avoid dating at all, the game feels disconnected and a little empty. I'm not sure if the developer intended a best path with a limited amount of dating so that the pacing feels better, but they have promised some rewrites in the upcoming build, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not sure you can maintain a romantic huge harem with a strong independent plotline. I mean, look at Skyrim. There are so many distractions that only 31.4% of Steam players have defeated the final boss of the main quest, let alone all the other achievements. As it stands, Come Home has done a remarkable job of balancing romance with selection. I do think the slower pacing and flavors offered will chase away people looking for a more prototypical college harem experience, but deep and meaningful relationships aren't really what that genre of game is selling to begin with. Come Home is one of the most ambitious visual novels that I've played this year. While the execution has been hit or miss, this is already an engaging and entertaining dating experience. With some additional polish, this could become a breakout hit in 2022. Let me know what you think. For those who want to post paragraphs about the nature of consent, I promise that it is the YouTube filters that are removing it, not me. You are welcome to post on my Patreon or Discord or message me directly if you want to get in depth about this highly controversial topic. Seriously though, this is a well thought out free game on Steam. I highly recommend that everyone download it and give it a shot, so that we are encouraging this kind of content in the future. Until next time, no shaming, just gaming. Thanks to all this month's supporters on Patreon. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you.